So 2 more races before the lunch break, and here is DD2 race 1 here on Sunday. Mika Metz, who won both heats yesterday, starts from pole position, so has already bagged 25 points to help his championship hopes this season. Yannick Jacobs will line up alongside in the 401. Row 2, it's the 433 of Florian Breidenbach and the 413 of Marcel Stein. Row 3, it's Fabian Bock in the 481 and the 442 of Leon Arndt. Row 4, it is Hannes Border and Jonas Wolscheid in the 468 and the 420. Ronny Göttler and Yannick Herrmann in the 466 and the 469 complete the top 10. Lukas Horstmann and Robert Schopian are meant to be on row number 6. Lukas Horstmann has not yet entered onto the grid, so might be starting from the dummy grid when the field gets released. Laurent Seyfried in 13th, Tristan Gebhardt in 14th ahead of Marco Göttler, Tim Stender, Mark Bartels and Philipp Dreschler, who completes the 18-strong grid. Once again, 14 minutes plus an additional lap. And at the moment, the way things are looking, looks to be that things are still dry over in Kerpen. And at the moment, it's a west-south-westerly wind of about 15 kilometers an hour. Humidity around 79%. And it's 19 degrees Celsius ambient air temperature here at Kerpen. Right then, 14 minutes on the clock. Around the final corner they go, into the tram lines. Revs rise. Are we ready? And let's see if this is a good start. Looks like that might be the case, because already Yannick Jacobs has gotten ahead of Mika Metz, who storms up the inside. It's 2 by 2. Hurrah! Between the top 6, going through turn 2 and into 3. That was very, very close indeed, but Yannick Jacobs looks to have got the initial advantage going through. Florian Breidenbach looks to be in 3rd place, ahead of Fabian Bock. Marcel Stein rounds out the top 5. As Mika Metz looking to get past Yannick Jacobs, going through into the chicane. Through the left-hander that they just negotiated before the chicane. Oh, a little bit of a bump and run there, as Fabian Bock, right in the slipstream of Mika Metz, gets past Florian Breidenbach. And look at the amount of control from Marcel Stein. He's trying to steamroll his way up the inside through for 4th place. And there's Leon Arndt also trying to capitalise. And it looks like Florian Breidenbach has lost a couple of positions, and that is the case. So Marcel Stein now up into 4th place, ahead of Leon Arndt. Florian Breidenbach rounds out what will be the top 6, and you will very short, well, does have, is Hannes Border just behind. Robert Schopian's got himself up the order a little bit further, as now Marcel Stein is battling away. Across the line to complete lap number 2. Mika Metz now has a 0.7 second advantage ahead of Yannick Jacobs. Fabian Bock rounds out the top 3 and has gone defensive on Marcel Steiner going into turn 2. Into the left-hander at 3 they go. He's got Leon Arndt right up his back bumper as the 413. Florian Breidenbach, Hannes Border round out the top 7 ahead of Robert Schopian. Looks like Lukas Horstmann has unfortunately not even gotten going, so a real shame for Horstmann after what was a great second heat yesterday. The first heat was with technical dramas because something from the bottom of the cart actually flew out from underneath after circumnavigating his way around 5 laps of the circuit here, 1.107 kilometers in length. 11 minutes and 40 seconds still to go, and Mika Metz has extended a lead to now 1.2 seconds. As here is a change for 2nd, make that 3rd, make that possibly 4th. If Leon Arndt can keep it pinned around the outside of Marcel Steiner, but can't get the job done. I think that's opened the door for Florian Breidenbach. No, not quite. So Steiner finds himself up into P3 behind Fabian Bock. Yannick Jacobs now down into 4th place. Leon Arndt in 5th. And Jacobs now fighting back against Steinert. And trying to go through was Leon Arndt. Here's Florian Breidenbach. So it's musical chairs here at Kerpen in DD2. And one person that's definitely not wanting to play by that game is Mika Metz, and extends the lead now by over a second. That's incredible pace. It was a 45.325 second lap time from Mika Metz, but it's all kicking off behind. Leon Arndt trying to keep it pinned around the outside, going through turn 3 on Yannick Jacobs, but has the job happened? No, it hasn't, because a few other drivers. Robert Schorpian has got himself into into what is now, that is 4th place, I believe, or maybe even make that 5th place, because in the meantime Marcel Steinert is currently in what is 3rd place. Then it's Jacobs. Fabian Bock rounds out the top 2 behind Mika Metz, who's 2.6 seconds up the road. Leon Arndt up into down to 6th behind Robert Schorpian, and it's getting a bit argy-bargy between the two Nice racing drivers. Hannes Border and Florian Breidenbach better watch their P's and Q's. And plus, they also don't want to take each other out, because that could cause dramas for the pair of them. Florian Breidenbach, coming into this round, was actually in the title picture. We've had 2 retirements, unfortunately, on the very first lap. Lukas Hossmann, didn't even get to the start and is out of the race. Tristan Gebhardt now also out on lap number 3. Ronnie Göttler's going to be the next casualty, I'm afraid, on lap number 4. So 5 minutes completed, 9 to go, plus 1 lap, and DD2 very much in full swing. So Mika Metz leads by nearly 3 seconds ahead of Fabian Bock. Marcel Stein, Yannick Jacobs, Robert Schorpian, Leon Arndt, Florian Breidenbach, Marco Göttler, Hannes Border and Jonas Volscheid complete the top 10, as we now have completed 7 laps of racing. The sunshine really starting to break its way through the clouds and bathe the circuit in warmth and sunlight. And that's going to be a welcome sight after what we had this morning, with quite a lot of greasy patches on the circuit, and then the wet line was then starting to evaporate as the racing got underway. So 3 retirements. Ronnie Göttler, lap 4. Tristan Gebhardt, lap 2. And Lukas Hossmann not even making the start of the race. Mark Bartels has made it up a couple of positions in the meantime, now up into 13th ahead of Philipp Dreschler and Lauren Seyfried. Seyfried's weekend hasn't really gone quite the way he would have wanted, the 439 running on the comp kart chassis, whereas Marcel Steinert is fighting at the sharp end of the grid and has got Yannick Jacobs for company. Now, if anyone might remember what happened at Wackersdorf, where Steinert and Jacobs went into turn 3 and Jacobs got sent off into the barriers, it was a racing incident, really. Quite a hefty hit, but at least the foam barriers doing their job at Wackersdorf, as we always know they do. And I've got a feeling that Florian Breidenbach might have made up a position, maybe has gotten past Leon Arndt as they make their way through into the S's. That is pretty much confirmed. I've just seen it on the screen. So Breidenbach now up into P6, and we'll start closing in on Robert Schorpian in P5 as Jacobs swarming all over the back bumper of Steinert, who is not giving an inch and not allowing Yannick Jacobs to take a mile, but someone who's taking complete advantage of this situation like we saw yesterday. Mika Metz now leads by nearly 4 seconds ahead of Fabian Bock. So the 4.64 leads the way ahead of the 4.81. Then it's the 4.13 of Marcel Stein. The 4.01 of Yannick Jacobs. Robert Schorpian, the 4.77 now being pressurised by Florian Breidenbach, who is within striking distance. And then you've also got the 4.42 of Leon Arndt. So the battle for third place very much intensifying. As Jacobs trying to close in once again on Steinert. But behind, a great little textbook move by Florian Breidenbach up the inside of Robert Schorpian through turn 2. But has he kept the move and kept the place? He has, because Robert Schorpian mounted a counter-offensive through the left-hander at turn 3. But Breidenbach knew the move might be happening and retaliated accordingly. So through into the chicane, just behind Breidenbach is Schorpian and Leon Arndt. We're on to lap number 13 of racing. And Leon Arndt now closing in on Robert Schorpian to now try and take that position. But through turn 2, that will never happen in the month of Sundays. And funnily enough, it is getting close to Sunday afternoon here. And when you're not talking that much about the leader, you know he or she is doing a damn fine job. That is what Mika Metz is doing at the moment. He's currently well up the order and has won both heats yesterday and is in the lead of the first race here on Sunday by the best part of nearly what will be closer, I think, to 5 seconds after 13 laps. Make that nearly 4.6 seconds as Fabian Bock has started to stretch away ever so slightly from Yannick Jacobs in P3, who has started to drop Marcel Steinert. Things are sort of spreading out. Someone's been playing the accordion again, haven't they? Breidenbach is now 0.4 of a second behind Steiner. Schorpian is 0.4 of a second behind Breidenbach in 6th place. Leon Arndt, however, is the driver closest to maybe going for an overtaking opportunity when it presents itself in the next 3.5 minutes plus a lap. Mark Bartels has now got himself past Tim Stender in the 4.09 to now get himself into the top 10. So on to lap 15, and Mika Metz leads by 4.6 seconds. Mika Metz also holds the fastest lap, 44.589, that was completed on lap number 13. We're on to lap 15 at the moment. Fabian Bock sets a personal best of a 44.728. Other personal best set by Leon Arndt, Marco Göttler, Hannes Bode, Mark Bartels. We've also got Tim Stender and Jonas Wolscheid. Running at the top 12, Lawrence Leifried has finally got past Philipp Dreschler. It's not been an easy one for the 439 from FM Racing, as there is now Leon Arndt ahead of Robert Schorpian in the 477. Just over 2.5 minutes to go. Pretty straightforward move for Leon Arndt, running on the Kart Republic chassis. So that means he's now in 6th place. But this battle here is getting rather tasty, isn't it? Marcel Stein versus Florian Breidenbach, and that is for 4th on the road, as we've got just over 2 minutes to go on the timer. Yannick Herrmann has now got past Jonas Wolscheid for 12th place. So not much movement happening up and down the order. But there are battles happening. Marcel Steinert is about 1/4 of a second ahead of Florian Breidenbach. And the nearest battle is Leon Arndt, who is trying to pull away from Robert Schorpian. But the 477 on the Mach 1 chassis is giving chase and trying to get an opportunity to retake that 6th place position. Philipp Dreschler and Lawrence Leifried seem to be swapping positions once again. And Seifried finds himself down in 15th position. And he is the last of the classified runners so far, with Göttler, Ronny Göttler, Tristan Gebhardt and Lukas Horstmann not taking any further participation in this race. Horstmann didn't even make it to the start, unfortunately. So whether there has been some technical issues for Horstmann as a result of what happened yesterday. And on Sunday, when it's the main race day, where you can gain a lot of points or lose a lot of points, this is the day where you want everything to be working fine. And sometimes drivers do get ill, and they can sometimes have problems on the Sunday. So whether he's withdrawn and not started, that is at his discretion. We respect that decision. 25 seconds still to go, plus 1 lap. Mika Metz leads by 5.3 seconds, and as I say that, Laurent Seifried has parked it. The 439's weekend has gone from bad to worse over the past 12 hours or so. It's not been easy, never is, on the past 24 hours. So Seifried will start from 15th on the grid in the last race of the weekend. Timer has hit 0. And this time around, Mika Metz will take the final lap board. So we are down to 14 drivers. We now head on to the 20th and final lap of this 1.107 kilometre circuit. There is the race leader. Through the left-hander at turn 3, and then through into the S's. The sweeping S's, as I like to call them here at Kerpen. They're very, very fast momentum carrying sections here, and it's quite deceiving how committed these drivers really are, and they are pushing like crazy. So just a few more corners to negotiate through into the left-hand kink, onto the back straight that puts you through the chicane, then into the final left-hander. Mika Metz continues the 100% success rate here at Kerpen on round 3 of the season. Fabian Bock closes the gap to about 4.8 seconds after 20 laps of racing. Yannick Jacobs rounds out the top 3 and was half a second behind Fabian Bock at the end of the race. Marcel Steinert keeps a very, very good prowess showing this weekend by staying in 4th at the end of the race, ahead of Florian Breidenbach, who was pipped to 4th place by just 0.172 seconds. Leon Arndt in 6th ahead of Robert Schorpian, Marco Göttler in 8th, Hannes Border in 9th, with Mark Bartels in the 488 coming from the back of the grid to complete the top 10. Tim Stender in 11th ahead of Yannick Herrmann, Jonas Wollescheid and Philipp Treschler. Unfortunately, retirements from Laurent Seifried on lap 16, Ronny Göttler lap 4, Tristan Gebhardt on lap 2, with Lukas Horstmann not taking the start.